Hello, my dear friends. So, very soon we will start our racing season at Trackhouse. So, it's time to remember little bits about this track and to talk about how to drive there. Sorry. And you have to use these guides. You need to remember when you need to analyze when you're personal driving and so on. There are a lot of things how to drive to make fast lap, but also it's always changeable in the race, and you need to learn how to use different racing lines, etc., etc., etc. Start finish line, very wide track, enter to the first corner. So, as always, as close as possible to the left part of the track here. Then it's pretty short and very strong, uh, very fast, strong braking, turn, and smoothly go to acceleration. It's very important to be focused on the apex here when we turn. We need always keep in mind the barriers. The left apex in chicane can be changeable, and we always need to use this. So we need to keep in mind that if drivers move during the race these barriers, okay, then it means that we can go faster in the first corner. But also we need to be careful that sometimes marshals can move them back. And previous lap we drove faster, but then next lap, if the barrier will be a little more tight, you need to be ready to react on this in last moment because you cannot see this. Okay, need to be very careful with this. It's important not to turn very late here because we will lose rear. And also, if we start turning earlier, it will be understeer on exit and we will go wide and then we will fight with cart in the chicane. So our goal is to, you see, cart is already rotated. It's already with a little bit oversteer, as you see, but it's already in the straight direction. If we start turning earlier, yeah, we need to be very close here to the apex. And now it should be feeling like car doesn't want to slide here outside. If it's happening, there are two reasons. Or you are very fast here, or you start turning earlier and you didn't rotate the cart. Now our focus on the next apex, we need to be as close as possible to the barrier. And in this case, we didn't have to make a lot of moves with steering. For us, this is like straight line. So the goal for us here to make the line as straight as possible. Yeah, we cut as much as possible this chicane, this part of the track, how the barrier allows us to do this. So sometimes, yeah. So now it looks like very dangerous that you can hit it, but we are drivers and we always need to be millimeters from these barriers, and we always need to use this this curb here as this barrier allows us to do. So sometimes we go to the first corner faster, sometimes slower because these barriers can be moved all the time. Sometimes it's even like with all four wheels here because it's very wide. Then it's very easy in the last in the chicane. It's not like chicane; it's like 90 degrees corner, but it's not often. Usually on the races, they always put them back. And yeah, next one, it's better not to touch. So after this apex, it's very high. Uh, and if we touch it, we jump a little bit and lose traction and lose speed. but it's very important not to lose speed here, because then long straight line, and we need to keep RPM, need to keep momentum, need to keep speed. Why it's happening when we slide here on this curve? Again, if we were too wide before on the left here, if we fighting with card which slides outside to the left, and then we need to move steering to avoid the barrier to the right, and then because of this we go here to the grass. But from this position, what we see here on the screen, it will be like just straight line near the barrier, go straight, voila. Then we move to the left uh, part of the track. Sometimes it's mistake that drivers stay closer to the middle, and then enter to the corner will be more narrow, and almost no steering, just little bit pressure on your hands, because exit is very wide. You need to go full throttle and RPM up, use everything to the grass and the exit. Now we have long sweeper, uh, very late hard braking. This is maximum speed point here. And then from the enter, as usually on all sweepers, we stay inside. After enter, we move to the apex inside and try to stay as narrow as possible, close to the inside curve, and then release cart outside. Sometimes exit can be more uh, more wide comparing with what you see now. It depends of the grip of the cart setup and some other things, how you enter, what was your speed during the sweeper. Yeah, but there are no rule that we need to move here as close as possible or in the middle. Sometimes our cart, you just need to feel if your carts want to go out, you don't need to make corrections on your steering tool to the rear. If your cart can go in the pretty narrow without losing speed and so on, it's okay. You will make less distance. It's the same like in our home track at AMP in the fast corner, blind corner in the hill. Sometimes you go from there a little bit wider, sometimes a little bit more easier, more narrow, just because of different grip. If the grip is high, traction is high, the cart more easily will stay more narrow on the exit. But the main here, you need to feel this and to let the car go where it wants, not to hold the steering, not to break it, and not to lose rear on the exit. Then we move to the right part of the track, and now we have chicane, which can be used also in different ways. You can use both curbs, especially first one. But we saw a lot of drivers who don't use and drive fast, and without using these pretty high curbs, the cart is more stable on the braking. So I prefer not to use it, especially a second one, because if you will jump and then the cart will be unstable when it's loading up back to the ground. The braking will be unstable, and you enter to the 90 degrees corner will be not very good, and then you will lose a lot before the hairpin. So as close to the possible to the left part, and then straight direction from here. Again, our goal is to have a straight line as possible. See, as close as possible. And from here, our focus on the apex, and that we need to be not in the middle of the track here, but we need to be on the right to have better enter to the 90 degrees corner. You see, here I put the card in the straight position. The main problem that after chicane, a lot of drivers have diagonal and go to the apex straight like this. But no, we need to keep a little bit straight on the right part of the track, brake, turn, and go with throttle. From here, we already go to the throttle as close as possible to the apex. Don't touch it too deep because the car will jump. It's very high. And then we need to use everything on the exit. Again, depends how much this barriers allows us to do this. Yeah, but we need to go wide, our right tires on the concrete, not on the rumbles because they break us. So this is the best position when our tires uh, on the flat part of the track, left the asphalt and right the concrete. If you go a little bit wider, it's still good because left part of the tires unloaded and you have a lot of grip and traction on the right tires. Then we need to avoid the plastic barrier, smoothly come back to the track and go full throttle next go. Now happen. Uh, this happened. Uh, we can't say that this is late apex because we have the track which goes, yeah, it's impossible to, we have sharp corner here, yeah, on the apex, like point, the top point. So this is our goal, just not to be here, for example, here, not because again, if we turn very early, it will be problem. We see here on this point, we need to go a little more deeper. We can't start turning early because if we will go like this, then we will need to brake the cart in the middle of the corner until when we will have understeer on exit, we will not be able to accelerate. So go a little bit more deeper, turn later, and then release cart outside with throttle. But very smooth. You need to use rumbles here. So go as wide as possible, but avoid to touching the grass or dirt. And then we come back to the left part of the track before the next double, uh, how to say, like long right, double 90. We start turning usually at the end of the rumbles from the left part of the track. And then it depends on the track conditions. Our goal not to go very wide in the first part of first and one here. So we go a little bit more narrow than touching the rumbles. When we go wider, usually we lose grip. And just with throttle um, we control our speed and our traction, our grip. It's important not to go very fast here in the first stage, not to dive because cars start jumping after this apex. So brake and then turn and smoothly with throttle add. Normally with throttle we just control all this long corner and full and release cart outside with all four wheels. You can go to this concrete part of the track and accelerate. And diagonal acceleration and your line in the next corner. And our goal and mind already focused on the braking and enter to the last corner. we have little bit understeer always here on enter because we don't have time to stabilize the cart in the straight position after previous corner. Yeah, we still turn, braking, and then again accelerating and go wider. So what is important in the last corner? It's again the same like in the first corner, in the last corner here, and drivers lose if they go a little bit more faster than they need to the corner. And then later on the throttle, later acceleration, you gain little bit, maybe 1/10 on the braking, but then you lose 3/10 on the straight line because you're late on the throttle and your speed in the apex is more high, and you just fight with kart on the exit. So here brake, turn, and acceleration on the throttle. We need to be on the throttle and catch the grip and restart outside as wide as possible. Sometimes, mm, just here, for example, on practice, I go a little bit on narrow. I don't use everything, but again, I had see here. Even with this, it still can be very fast. Difference can be maybe less than 1/10 if you go wider with all four wheels or not. It also sometimes depends from these barriers. They can be moved, and because of this, uh, for example, if you go much more wider, you need time to come back on the track. And if this barrier is a little bit closer, sometimes it's very tricky to come back on the track from this concrete, and you lose. You make little bit more distance, and then you need to have little more steering to avoid barriers, and it's not benefit to go wider and faster because of this. So it's changeable also here. You need to keep this in mind. So uh, also, if we turn earlier than we need, we go wider. If we turn later than we need, we have more less angle, less radius, and we lose rear. So here we enter, and from here, time. Just listen the engine. Always, when you analyze videos, listen the engine when braking and when accelerating. Brake and again throttle. Keep. You see, it's like full throttle. Lift and throttle. Here, full throttle. Accelerate. Release cart outside. Hold on the throttle. Only now full throttle. Go. Brake.